Look at all those beautiful crystals. Wow. Okay, how do I turn it around? All right. Hello, friends. Welcome to Parshat Tetzave. We're making l'chaims too. JIC for hooking us up. Kerem House. Rinat, an alternative. Jaffa, Tel Aviv. And this learning is in memory of our dear friend Oriel's niece who went up this week. Ra'aya Nitzan Bat Eviona Ashira. She was just a baby, but something, a really positive spin you can take on babies transitioning to the other side is that we only have to come to earth as long as we have a tikkun here. So when somebody passes away in a young age, it's really a compliment to their soul to say, wow, that person was so holy, they only had to be here for such a short amount of time. So Raya Nitzan should have an Aliyat Neshama. And also for the Aliyat Neshama of my dear friend's grandma, Miriam Bat Phoebe. And in honor of the Chatan V'Kala, Jakey and Bella Fishman, for the successful court case of Chana Bat Bracha Yafa. Thank you, Lina Kamar and family. Mazal Tov to Jessica Leah, who got married just a minute ago. Yes, we were in elementary school together all the way through high school and everything from LA, so that's really sweet. And thank you guys all for coming and showing up and being here. Feel no pressure, feel free at any point. Like, this is not so formal. So like if you feel like, oh my God, I've been studying this for 20 years and I have something to share, like jump in. Express your needs and wants. L'chaim, l'chaim. Hi, Mandy. I'm Nili. Nice to meet you. Do you guys know Mandy? She has beautiful skin complexion up close. L'chaim, l'chaim. Oh shoot, I forgot I'm online. I'm so sorry. L'chaim.
Well, they wouldn't see that.
Maybe you can make a plug for her skincare products.
Oh, right, exactly. Daniel, she's here. Okay, amazing. So, does anyone know the Parsha?
Tetzave.
Tetzave. So I do this extremely annoying thing where I ask people, I don't want to say that about myself. Some people have said it's annoying. But I do this thing where I ask people to repeat because it's only Wednesday and you get to Friday and you're like, shoot, I went to a class about the Parsha, but I forgot what it is. So it's Parshat.
Tetzave.
Parshat.
Tetzave.
Yeah, there we go. So now you'll know it because it's Parshat.
Tetzave.
Amazing. So first, my plan for the night is I'm going to give context about what the Parsha is about. And then I'm going to tie it into Purim. And you're going to see why I specifically chose Orel's beautiful temple, which is called the temple, which is cool, but we're learning about the Mishkan, because he has these absolutely gorgeous thousands and thousands of shekels of crystals. Even the candles, guys, are placed on agate. Do you see that? These are each of these is blue agate. And if you look behind, he made a whole wall of crystals over there. So it's really a special, amazing thing. So Parshat Tetzave, let's do some context. Hi, welcome, come on in. Come on, it's okay. We welcome tourists in red coats. Okay, so context is, even though we're learning about the Mishkan, this desert sanctuary tabernacle, we're actually still around Har Sinai. That's weird, because you think, oh, we're in the Mishkan, we're already in the desert setting it up, but actually, how long were we at Har Sinai?
A year.
Yeah, we were at Har Sinai for almost an entire year. It was the original yeshiva. I don't know your name either. Nir. That's easy. Nir, Nili, cool. There's a guy. So we're still at Har Sinai, and we're all of a sudden learning how to make a sanctuary. Which, by the way, we tried to make this look like a sanctuary. If you didn't know, the colors of the Mishkan, which we'll discuss a little bit later, we had golds, right? Reds, purples, and turquoises were the primary colors. So if you want to decorate your Shabbat table this week, gold, scarlet, turquoise, and purple are the way to go, which is fun for some people to know that you can decorate like that and put your crystals out. Ooh, let's have oohs and ahs. Ooh, thank you. So nice. So the Mishkan, if you take the word, is shachen, makom shchina, the place of the shchina, makom shchina, Mishkan. That's kind of cool. The place of the divine feminine presence is this. Has anyone here been to Sinai or down to Park Timna or Eilat? Yes. Have you seen the desert? Because that's probably what it looked like. And then all of a sudden, there's this gorgeous little encampment with like unicorn skins, according to Gemara Shabbat 28a, over the top with like, and by the way, why would I put stars for the Mishkan? Like, isn't that like off decoration? Like, Nili, you're trying to decorate this place like the Mishkan. What's up with the stars? Let me show the people the stars. Ooh, stars. Why? What's up with the stars? Anyone know? Stars in the Mishkan? Ooh, stars. Anyone know? So one of the incredible things is that once you were in the Mishkan, it had gold buttons. The top fabric was a light blue, like domeh to the sky. We don't actually know if it was more tchelet or more sky blue, but then they put these gold buttons in the top so that when you were in there, it looked like you were in the night sky. Fun fact, hey? Yeah. P.S. If you go to Park Timna, you can go to a replica of the Mishkan, and it's really, really cool. Also, if you want to go to Shiloh, in the ancient place of the Mishkan, where the Mishkan was for 400 years, they have a super cool, like, VR, what is it called? Yeah, VR glasses, where you can, like, go through the Mishkan and see amazing things. Okay, but here's the thing. So we discussed the colors. What are the colors? It's gold,
scarlet,
yeah,
purple,
yeah.
turquoise.
High five. Yo, that was your brother. Okay, and now we also had all sorts of precious materials. So what precious materials do you think were in the Mishkan? For example, gold and silver and copper. So here's the thing. Every single thing in this place that's supposed to be a conduit and a vortex for inviting the divine feminine presence had a reason and an explanation. The colors. You know there's something called color therapy? And that it's based on the vibration of the color. The colors were significant. But so was zahav. What is zahav? Has anyone ever looked at the word zahav and what it actually means? Zahav, have you thought about it? Zahav, come on in. It's so beautiful, I know. Come in for a minute. Have a bite. There's wine. And you know Leah, that's amazing. It's unbelievable. You know my Jerusalem import? How'd that happen? Welcome, welcome. Zahav is a zayin and then the word hav. What is hav? To give. And zayin is the Hebrew letter that represents the feminine. Zahav, women love our gold. It's a feminine giving energy. That's why gold is malleable and soft. It has that feminine attribute and it contains in it this energy of giving. Like God gave us this incredible gift called gold. It's really a beautiful element, isn't it? Okay, then we have silver. How do you say silver in Hebrew? Kesef. Does anyone think what this could be related to? Kesef is connected to, like, let's say you have a crush on someone and you're just longing for them and you're kisufim, yearning. It's the things that you're yearning for, that you want to pull to you. So zahav is this soft, sweet, giving energy. And kesef is kisufim. It's longing, the way that I long for Melissa Weintraub to just walk right into the shiur. Mel, we're talking about the elements of the Mishkan, the colors. And okay, now let's go to, what did we say the third one was? Nachoshet. What is nachoshet? Nachoshet is copper, that's correct, and it has in it the energy of the nachash, except for that it's nachash with the letter taf. My Rebbe in LA, Reb David Sachs, says that nachoshet is the end of the snake. But we also know that snake energy is identical in gematria to the energy of, what is the word snake have the same gematria as? Mashiach. Holy shmagagis, if you've never heard that one, let it blow your mind. The lowest lying, cunning, exposed, naked creature that convinces us to tap into our most inappropriate, awful, deceptive desires is the same energy as the messianic energy. Is that mind-blowing or did I not explain it well?
It's mind-blowing.
Please make noises to help me feel satisfied. I have longings. I have kisufim to hear your mind blow. So maybe, and by the way, exactly, it's taking polarity and duality and restoring it to unity. Exactly, totally. Say what?
Purim, on theme.
Purim, on theme. Exactly, completely Purim. Totally, 100%. Right. Okay, so here's the thing. Now, not only is there gold and silver and copper, come on in, guys, it's going to be really fun. Come on, muzmanim. And all these amazing color frequencies, but there was also crystals. There was also crystals. Did you know that there's crystals in the Bible? ידעת שיש קריסטלים בתנ"ך שלנו? כן, אני לא סתם אומרת, בוא נגיד, I don't know how to say in Hebrew, בוא נדבר על העניין של הקריסטלים. Where in Judaism, right, I'm dressed like this, okay, I'm pretending it's a costume, it's actually not, but, you know, do what you can, take advantage of the moment. Where do we see crystals in Judaism? So I just gave you one hint. Why did I say there's this desert sanctuary that's supposed to channel the divine feminine presence and escort us for the rest of time? Where are there crystals? Why am I obsessed saying, oh, we have to gather because Orella has crystals. We must gather because there's crystals. Where are there crystals in Judaism? Oh, the Choshen Mishpat. You're telling me that the Kohen Gadol came and over his chest, and it says that if he didn't, אם הוא לא בא למשכן עם החושן משפט שלו, הוא הלך למות. He would die if he didn't wear the Choshen Mishpat over his chest. That's maleh in crystals. And if you look historically, they say that this was like something that you would see it and like blow your mind. But I have a question. Are there more crystals in Judaism, or does it only appear on the breastplate of the Kohen Gadol? Where else are there crystals? Oh! Pablo said something amazing. So now let's talk about this Mishkan for a second, okay? You have the Mishkan, which, by the way, I brought a measuring tape. The Mishkan was about 150 feet by 70 feet. How long do you think this room is? Let's figure it out. Come, help me. Measuring tape! Me and Brene Brown bring our measuring tape. Let's see. Pull all the way to Mikhail. And someone help me. 75 feet. זה כפול 2.2.
Does it say meters on the...
So this is 500 centimeters. Okay. So how long do you think this whole place is? I had 2 shots of Tubi. Someone tell me. This is only 10 meters. And we have, so the long way, it was 150 feet. So help me out. What is that? Okay, we can take it back now. Hold on. Take it so I don't know when it stops. Mazel tov. Ricochet.
So you mean amot, right?
So how big was the Mishkan compared to this room? If it was 75 feet by 150 feet, so it was like 3 of these wide and 2 of these long, what do you guys think?
Something like that.
Something like that. Okay. So you have this outside area, okay? And so you walk, let's say you walk into the Mishkan, and what do you see? Does anyone know what happens when you walked into the Mishkan? What's the first thing you see? You guys got to go to Park Timna, I'm telling you. You see the Mizbeach, you see the animal altar, okay? Which trips me out because I'm a vegetarian, but Beseder Gamor, right? Mizbeach, by the way, is Mechila, Zevach, Bracha, Chaim. That we went to the altar to ask for forgiveness, to own up for our behavior and say, Hashem, please forgive me. Please let me offer something. Let me do a Zevach to you so I can have Bracha and Chaim. So first you walk into the Mizbeach. And then you see also on the side this kior. And what was the kior made of? Copper. The kior was a hand washing station for their hands and their feet to do the service in purity, made of the copper mirrors that the women used to seduce their husbands back in Egypt. Wow. Because the regime of Pharaoh was separating men and women so much that the men were exhausted and they couldn't come home and be with their wives. So the women took these mirrors and they were like, hey baby, I think we should I should stop talking. I think we should connect tonight in a romantic way. And then they seduced their husbands back into romance so that there could be more Jewish babies. And then when they were asked to offer their most precious things to the Mishkan, they offered these mirrors. And the elders of the time were like, I don't know if we could use seduction mirrors for the holiest place on earth. And Moshe decided, Dafka, that's exactly what should be used. The thing, whatever it takes to reunite man and woman, husband and wife in peace, is so sacred. And so they used this kior. And then you went into an inner sanctum. And the inner sanctum, This is supposed to be modeled by these candles over here. What did we have? Can anyone see? We had the menorah. Nachon. We had the menorah to illuminate. We had the incense altar. By the way, if you didn't figure it out yet, Jews are for sure the original hippies. We were camping with incense and candles and crystals. I mean, we're like literally the original hippies, hey?
And singing songs.
And what?
And singing songs.
And singing songs in harmony. We had the menorah, and we had the incense altar and the showbread, and then there was the Kodesh Kedoshim. This is all to get back to Paul's answer. And in the Kodesh Kedoshim, there was a very special box made of gold and acacia wood, which, by the way, if you're a plant tripper, acacia wood has the highest content of naturally occurring DMT, dimethyltryptamine, that thing that you experience when you are in plant medicine or before you die. Oh, interesting, because the Kohen Gadol burned coals from that. I wonder what was happening in there. And then we also had above the box, what was there? The kruvim. Yes, my friends are really creeped out by my kruvim. Most of my friends hate them. I cut off the toes to be Haredi so that they wouldn't be idols. That's true. No, it's less. It's not any less creepy. But my friends, tell me, what was inside this box underneath the kruvim? What was stored in the Holy of Holies? The center of our worship. The center of, let's say, the universe, because eventually the Mishkan is going to become the Beit HaMikdash. And the center of the temple. Raise your hand if you've been to the Kotel. Raise your hand if you've been to the Kotel. You never been to the Kotel? Ma, no היית בכותל? סליחה. Why the heck do you go to the Kotel? What was behind the Kotel? You don't go to the Kotel because of a broken wall. Why do we go to the Kotel?
Because the Jewish quarter, the Arab quarter, the best knafe.
This is online. Be careful.
The best knafe. What do we get?
The best Yafe knafe.
15 shekel for a block of knafe.
And it's kosher.
And it's kosher, right. Muhammad makes kosher. Okay, but the reason we go to the Kotel is because a long time ago, there was a box. Flippin' golden box. And inside this golden box was
Sapphire.
And what are these 10 commandments made out of?
Stone.
No, not stone. Not simple stone, yes. The Midrash and the Zohar say that the Luchot were kristallim. They were blue sapphire blocks. So much so that when Moshe had to carve it out, he got to keep the remnants of the inside of, let's say, the Samach and the Mem v'chule. And from this, he got totally rich just from holding the scraps.
Somebody smoked something very strong there.
Yeah.
It was high.
Why? What do you mean? Ma kasher?
No.
We made that joke a minute ago.
I make a pizza.
He's a little
Right. Like the high priest. Get it? The high priest. Get it? It's a joke. Okay, so what's crazy, what most people don't realize is that the center of our worship of God is crystals. And that the only way that the high priest could go approach these crystals was by wearing crystals. So do we believe in crystals?
Yes.
Do we? What do you guys think? Let's say, do we believe in crystals? Who says yes? What do I mean by that? Oh, we're so Hasidic over here, and all of a sudden it smells very interesting in here, I say. Oh my God, be careful, don't breathe. Dear Lord, oh my God, I'm on Facebook. Hashem, help me. Okay. Do you think that we believe in crystals? We do believe in crystals. Do you think we believe in crystals?
I believe they're used for communicating.
They're used for, who else? Okay, so raise your hand if you do think we believe in crystals, yes or no? If you think yes, raise your hand. If you think no, raise your hand. Do whatever he says. He's a Torah scholar. Exactly. So what do we mean? Because I gathered you on the premise of saying we're going to discuss crystals and Torah. And by the way, I tried to match my outfit to the ChatGPT image of myself. I did it.
You look like you're.
Okay, so the point is, the truth is we don't believe in crystals, but we do believe that crystals have a certain energy that we can tap into that can help align what in the modern world is called chakras, or in the Jewish world is called the Kabbalistic tree of life, our energy system of sfirot. And why? How do we believe this? Well, let's just say How could it be true that we believe in these little wild rocks, right? You're telling me that this quartz or that amethyst or that jade has something to it that actually does something? Well, I have a question. Opa, has anyone here been sick and taken oregano oil?
Yes.
Does it work?
Yeah. Hard to say, but hopefully.
Oh, we have a Miss Nugget in the room. Yes, it works. If you have oregano oil when you're sick, it works. What about oranges? What about marijuana? Does marijuana have a real effect, or is it just like, I believe in marijuana? I don't know. Someone else answer.
Just
It's
something.
very
People,
healing.
yes, just some people know.
Right, but most people, it has an
It
effect.
has an effect with
Right.
it. Yeah.
What about chamomile? You want to go to bed and you have a chamomile tea. Does that have an effect on you?
Yeah.
It does. Hashem puts different kochot into the earth that help us heal. And so too is it with crystals. Yeah, we don't believe in a crystal. It's not like this ruby that I'm wearing is all of a sudden gonna, please God, maybe it will get me pregnant and fertile, but like it's not the direct thing, but through its vibration, so Hashem can affect a change in our alignment. Okay, so everyone's following? Did anyone think of, Shlomo, did you ever think about the fact that the center of Jewish devotion is sapphires? Now, by the way, what is the word sapphire in Hebrew? Sapphire. And what does sapphire mean? What's the root, what's the shorish of the word sapphire? Yay! Oh, welcome! Oh, what a privilege. Thank you guys for coming. How sweet. Wow. I have to get up and give you a hug. You know, sometimes that's the right thing to do, you know? You have to know when Torahs first and when humans. This is wow. So good to be together.
This is the hug.
Well, you know, just pretending to dress up, but not really.
I'm with you always.
All right. Oh, that's so nice. You helped Facebook.
I got the hug.
Because if you don't feel, don't exist.
Right, exactly. Well, that's very Mishka. We're going to talk about that in a second. So, okay, guys, what did I just say before I got distracted by long-term friends? Sapir. Okay, so what we're talking about is the Mishkan. Okay, I'm going to give you the Mishkan, this desert sanctuary that was the center of our worship, that became the temple, that is the focus, and all of a sudden I'm creating a class about crystals and why. So we discussed how the Kohen Gadol wears a crystal breastplate, but we discussed that the absolute center of our worship is the Kodesh Kedoshim, and inside the Kodesh Kedoshim is the Aron HaKodesh, this gold box with the kruvim over it, and then inside of that is the Luchot, and the Ten Commandments according to the Midrash and the Zohar are actually sapphire. So now we're discussing the word sapir. So the word sapir means what? What's the shoresh? Sefer, a book or a story. Rabbi Nachman says that Hashem created the world just to tell stories. He also said that the nations of the world tell their children stories to put them to sleep, but Jews tell stories to their children to wake them up. But a story, right? Rabbi Nachman says that Hashem really just wants to hear the story of our lives. He doesn't care what it is. He just wants us to tell him stories. But also, what does sapir mean? It means clear. That it should be clear. We're all asking for clarity so much of the time. Hashem, what should I do? Should I be with this person? Should I be in a relationship? Should I have this job? Where should I move? It's clarity. And that clarity is achieved from being in communion and in connection with the master of the universe. How are we doing? Because I feel vulnerable and I would love to know some feedback. I haven't given like a very content-filled shiur in Yafo in a long time. Usually I just do like spurts. So I'm just wondering how everyone is. Everyone's okay?
We're good. We're with you.
Orel's making pizza in the kitchen.
We're
gaining clarity. But isn't that crazy? You never thought the center of our worship is a crystal. Now, I have a question for you. Hi, welcome.
Sounds like I showed up at exactly the right time.
Right?
Yeah.
Isn't that wild? Can you imagine what it would have looked like? And they were crystals so big that when the letters flew off, according to the Midrash, they fell out of, like, I don't know. I invite you guys to try to pick up this salt lamp later. I could barely do it. Orel had to move it for me because just this. Now, the luchot were probably quite a lot larger than that. Can you imagine blue diamond sapphires if I would have them here? It's amazing, right? I think it's absolutely amazing. Okay, so now, question. Where is the crossover? Oh, Haman! Boo!
pizza will get crispy.
Until the pizza will get crispy, we have Haman Arasha.
1.5 minutes.
No problem. Does anyone need wine? Because we could pass some bottles of wine on. I definitely need a shot of Tubi, who's ever in charge of that. Okay, is there any water? Where do you think you are? We're in Jaffa. What's this water request?
I've never heard of this.
There's water in the kitchen. There's also tea and coffee in the kitchen for anyone who wants. What?
There is a cups there.
Okay, so friends, let's tune back in for a second. Now we're talking about, hi Steph, we're talking about the Mishkan as the center of Jewish worship. We're talking about the fact that there was crystals, and we're talking about the Kohen Gadol. But I have a question. Is there, L'chaim Tov Milashalom, we should have the best Purim of our lives, and Geula should be revealed tonight, and should just get clearer and clearer over the course of Purim? Steph, here's my question for you. Do you think there's any crossover between, and this is why I had to have the shiur, Shammai, you know this. Is there any crossover between Purim and the crystals that we're talking about now that were in the Mishkan? Is there any crossover between the story of Purim and these crystals? I'll give you a hint, first of all. I'll let you know that the Midrash, and if you haven't read this book, Let My People Live by Yosef Deutsch, and you want to change your whole life, you must read every book he's ever written. They're historical fiction, but they're sourced with every Midrash. He describes the pathways of Achashverosh's palace are lined with rubies and emeralds and diamonds. The pathways, the people walked into this 180-day feast literally over sapphires. What are some crystals and gems that you could think of? Turquoise and onyx and
Sapphire.
and tourmaline and jasper and jade and what? Taurine and topaz. What are your birthstones? Opal. Oh my God! Imagine a path. So they say that Achashverosh was so rich that he lined the pathways of his palace in gemstones. But what else? What's the? Okay, so cute. So in Purim, the guy in Iran was so rich that they had gems. But
Honestly, having been to Dubai now and they get all their crystals from Iran, it doesn't sound that impressive anymore.
that's so interesting. Dubai gets their crystals from Iran. Iran is crystal rich.
Yeah, as is Afghanistan. Yeah.
Which makes sense because they had somebody thousands of years ago collecting crystals.
That is so fascinating. So, but wait, my friends, what is the big crossover between this week's Parshat, Tetzave, and the Kohen Gadol and all of his clothes that we're about to learn about, and Purim? I gave you a hint. Yes.
He had the kelim from the Beis Hamikdash at the feast.
Yes. Also, Achashverosh brought the kelim from the Beit Hamikdash, that gold that we were talking about, the Zayin Hav, the feminine giving, to the feast. That's correct. But what else?
Did he wear that?
Yo, Achashverosh came into the feast wearing the exact clothes of the Kohen Gadol.
Wait, question. Was it a
Achashverosh came to the feast wearing the Choshen Mishpat.
Wait, are we talking about like a knockoff or are we talking
It's
about
all over the Midrash. What?
knockoff?
No, the actual... What was the Purim feast? The Purim feast was a celebration that 70 years had passed and that the temple was not rebuilt. The only thing is that Achashverosh did the count wrong.
Yeah.
And it was about to be rebuilt. He had counted, it was in the 71st year in his calculation, but he was wrong. Do you guys know this? The feast of Achashverosh was a celebration of the fact that the temple, the first temple that was destroyed, was not rebuilt. And by the way, when I say temple, I know we're in the temple. Oh, that's cute. How appropriate for this year. We're in the temple of Yafo. But the Mishkan becomes the temple. And then all of a sudden, they're celebrating their own demise. We went to a feast celebrating our own demise. Realize how broken we must have been?
Did we go to this?
We all went. Some sources say they had kosher food. Correct me if I'm wrong. We went and got wasted at a feast that was celebrating our demise, where Achashverosh was wearing the crystals of the Kohen Gadol. Holy moly. Yo.
Can I get the permission from the manager to have a break of pizza?
Wow, is it that Orel made homemade pizza?
That cliffhanger?
That cliffhanger. Haman Rasha, please distribute pizza to the people. Let's see.
Update.
Whoa.
Farsi, Irani.
Who wants tadik or mesavzi? Okay. So,
Okay, you know what? I will put All the pieces here.
Oh, with pleasure. But here's the thing. Here's the deepest, okay?
Okay, is it cut? It's cut.
Wow. Is it Sadiq? Guys, round of Oral just made us all pizza. I said, Haman.
Haman is
Wow,
good.
that looks so, and it's kosher. Wow.
Guys, it's not Purim yet, okay? I get that we have wine, but we aren't like v'nahabuchi yet.
Okay, so my friends, here's the craziest thing, and then I'm going to really get into what crystals do scientifically. Atem muzmanim, gamim yashpeot, achi muzman. I don't think that worked.
Let them talk outside.
A pizza's a chalav Yisrael. בוא, תבוא, כולכם מוזמנים. כן, זה אישה מדברת תורה, זה מוזר, אבל אנחנו מתקרבים לגאולה, ואז זה בסדר, סתם. Okay. But here's the other thing, there's a huge crossover, because in this week's Parsha in Tetzave, we're talking about the clothes of the Kohen Gadol. His turban, and his robe, and his apron. Why does this have to do with Purim? All of a sudden we're talking about the clothes of the Kohen Gadol. What's Purim all about? The costumes, the clothes, the begadim. There's a huge crossover between this parsha and the fact that Purim is coming right after this parsha. In fact, how do you say clothes in Hebrew? Good. And what is the shorish of that word? Beged. And what's the shorish of the word beged? Boged, to betray. That our clothes can either betray our identity, right? Like when I have to walk through the world in normal clothes, I feel like I'm totally betraying my identity. I'm like, I'm doing a shear, I get to put on crystals, I finally get to feel authentic, right? But my teacher Morlea Golem also says that your clothes can be the Bet Gimel Daled, the outflow of the Aleph that you are. So you're the Aleph, and your clothes, when Jess wears a cat sweater that I got her, and Jess protects cats. So what I know. Tubi makes me brag, what could I say? So that's actually an expression of who Jess is, because she really protects the cats of Israel and feeds them. So her clothes right now are a Bet Gimel Daled, an outflowing of who she is. But the first clothes, let's not get confused. This is so flippin' deep. Come from, the other way of saying clothes is levush, lo busha. That comes all the way back to the Garden of Eden. When we first got clothes, lo busha, to cover up our shame. We didn't want to feel ashamed, and so we got clothes. And this is actually where the Gemara says, where do you find Purim in the Gemara?
In the Torah.
Thank you. Where do you find Purim in the Torah? Hamin ha'etz. That Haman, the word Haman is right there where it talks about the tree in this moment where we had to cover up our shame. So there's a ton of crossover. Okay, guys, how are we doing? Good?
We're good, we're with you.
Now, let's talk about what the Choshen Mishpat was, okay? Raise your hand if you ever played Ouija board when you were a kid. Did anyone ever play Ouija board, or Ouija, I think is the official way of saying it? You know what a Ouija board is? Guys, for anyone that's in my decade, that's like none of you anymore. God, Lord have mercy. Help us, Jess. Okay.
Lord help us.
I know.
I played with one as well.
You played Ouija. So what Ouija was this board game. Steph, you ever heard of it? Kaylee, you ever heard of a Ouija board?
Yeah.
Okay, it was this crazy board game with like this oracle in the center, and you said, Ouija board, tell me the answers. Shira, did you ever play Ouija board? Guys, Shira, help me decorate this place. Shira! Wait, Shira, hold on, you have to do a little wave for the online. Shira, give a wave. She didn't give a wave, sorry, online. Okay, so a Ouija board was this thing that you had, and it had letters on it. And when you were a kid, you put your hand on this central thing with like this fake crystal in the middle, and you would move it around. So it's like, does Navod have a crush on me? And it would be like, why? You push it, right? You push it in and out.
You're supposed to deal with multiple people.
Yeah,
I know, but collectively we all push it. We all push it, right? We all push it in the right way, and you get the answers. So the Choshen Mishpat was this crazy breastplate that the Kohen Gadol wore. Oh my God, look, I have it in sample. Okay.
Look at her so prepared.
I know. Thank you, former me. איזה צדיק אתה. לא, תביא את לאנשים טוב first. Thank you so much, Orel. So, homemade freaking fresh pizza in the temple in Yaffo. I mean, yeah. Talk about wafers in the Mishkan and showbread. We've got pizza. Hey. Hey. They had showbread, we have pizza. Say what? I know. Can you please shape it like the shulchan? The bread? Okay, so here's the thing. This that the Kohen Gadol wore, it was a breastplate full of these most magnificent crystals that we're going to get into every crystal in a minute and say why it was that. But it was like an envelope, yeah? And inside there was magic. Do you know what this magic was? Inside the envelope? It was called the Urim Tumim. It was either the 42-letter of Hashem, name of Hashem, or the 72-letter name of Hashem, and it was inscribed on parchment. We know which one it was. It's called the ineffable name of God. Now, mind you, I don't know, for who knows me, I've spent a lot of my time going with the lost tribes, and in Africa, in Ghana, in the north, 14 hours up north, you find a tribe that claims they know how to pronounce the ineffable name of God that was in the Urim V'Tumim. I did not ask them what it was when I was there because I was afraid. But wow. So this special name of God is in this breastplate. And then people would come to the Kohen Gadol. Kohen, raise your hand if you're a Kohen. Raise your hand, Kohanim. Wow, we have a lot of Kohen. Orel's a Kohen, Nachon. Haman is a Kohen. And Haman is a Kohen. You couldn't just come anyone. It was for greater matters of war and peace or whatever. But you would go to the Kohen Gadol and you would say, should we have World War III with Iran? And then all of a sudden, the Kohen would go, right, the Kohen would go into a deep meditation, right, like roll his eyes back, like, stop talking, thank you. Okay, not giving examples. Filter. I am developing a filter. By the age of 42, I almost have a filter. I'm very proud of myself. Thank you so much. Say what?
Once you don't attack, you never attack.
I'm working on it, okay? Ein yehush ba'olam klal. Okay, so here's what happens. So he goes into a deep meditation, and all of a sudden, the stones start lighting up. But not only that, every single stone had out the name of a tribe, and then all of a sudden, the letters would start lighting up, not even necessarily in order, and the Kohen had to piece it together to understand the message. Should we go to war? Should we do this thing? Should we do that thing? The letters of the Choshen would light up. And in this way, we got our answers as how to become a people as we were moving through the desert and going into Eretz Yisrael. Can we get a wow? Wow. It's mamash wild, guys. I'm telling you, our tradition is tripped out. Right? Ma? L'chaim, who needs wine? Who needs water? How can I hook everyone up? By the way, has anyone here ever read the book The Alchemist?
Yeah, so good.
So The Alchemist is all about the Urim V'Tumim. It also, one of the characters in there is named Salem, but whatever. And also, by the way, Yale, if you look at, Yale, the Ivy League college, if you look at their symbology of their, what do you call that thing?
Crest.
The crest, it has Urim V'Tumim on it. Which I don't know is the most kosher thing ever, but it's there. Fine. Okay, so let's go in. Any questions? By the way, did any ancient civilizations around the world also connect to crystals?
Probably.
Who? Egyptians. How do we know? How do we know that the Egyptians were connected to crystals?
Writing knowledge on emerald.
They were writing knowledge on emeralds. Okay, I didn't know that. But how do we know the Egyptians were into crystals? Where do we get the crystals for the Moshe Mishpat? There was two ways. I tricked you. Haha. A, they washed up on the shores when the Egyptians were drowned with the chariots. Or B, the other thing the Midrash says is that there were crystals that fell with the man. That as the man fell in the desert, so too you could also collect amazing crystals. By the way, if you go to Colorado and you go on hikes, you can mamish find crystals all around your hikes. But yes, so that was the other way. Okay, so
Field trip to Colorado.
field trip to Colorado. Kaylee is sponsoring. Ken Hiratzon. What other cultures? Okay, so the Egyptians. What other cultures had crystals?
Almost all the cultures.
Thank you. Almost all the cultures. What are Chinese culture most famous for? Jade. I love how you say that. Oh my God, thank you so much. What else? What other cultures? Indians, totally. What other cultures were full with gemstones?
Rupees and stuff.
Mayans, by the way, if you were ever wondering why the Mayans thought the calendar was going to end, they make crystal skulls every segments of years and do a whole ceremony around a crystal skull.
Probably Native Americans.
Native Americans, famously known for their connection to turquoise.
Yeah.
Oh, true.
Right. So, okay. So we're not the only one. Yeah. Get it? Chumash? Chumash? Okay. All right. So now I want to go into where do crystals come from and why does this have to do with the parasha? Come in. There's space.
Wait, you're talking about like metaphorically? Or
No, where do crystals come from? Emmet, let's go. Where do crystals? I said I'm giving you a shear on crystals. Where do crystals come from? Where from the ground? Is it like easy to find them if you're not
Inside rock.
They're deep inside the rocks. Okay.
Not just that, they're like super specific.
Be my little photographer.
Absolutely.
They come. Okay, you see, this is I think this might be lapis lazuli. I'm not sure. It's 500 shekels. I have to be careful. How old is this crystal? Let's get the amethyst one too. How old? Anytime you touch a crystal, how old is this crystal? These crystals.
It depends, but millions of years mostly.
I looked it up online. I was very careful with my research. Most crystals are between 3 billion and 4.4 billion. The oldest crystal they've carbon dated is 4.4 billion years old, but they say that most crystals are 3 billion years old or older.
So how it can be that the
The Earth is 5,786 years.
the paradox here?
No, we don't have a problem because look
Come on.
at the issue that the first
I'm a man.
So wait. Now it's more important that you have in your hands something of billion and billion years or the 500 shekels.
It's becoming more and more.
So let's do that again. So not only is every single crystal you see dated, like, wow, but if you think about how crystals are formed, you have to dig deep into the earth. It had to have an insane amount of how do you say that? Pressure. It has to have space to grow because a crystal is very delicate. In other words, the point is, one of the main points about crystals, if you think of it, the fact that it's the center of our worship. Molly, Melissa, Shira, Steph, here's what you didn't realize. The luchot that are in the box of the Aron, that are the Kodesh Kiroshim, that's the center. The reason you go to the Kotel is because one time there was a box that had crystals in it. And the idea with crystals is the same thing as the Kotzker Rebbe says about Purim. You have to dig deep to find out the truth. And the truth is that inside of every single one of us, there are the most profound crystals and gems that shine and radiate healing light and help realign us, just like the menorah in the Mishkan. It was one block, but within it there was this gorgeous structure. So too with us. The whole point of having crystals at the center of our worship is it's within us. You have to dig deep. You have to dig dark. You gotta have time, you gotta have pressure, you gotta have space, but it's within us. And here's the craziest thing, are you ready?
Yes.
The center of our worship in the Mishkan and then the first temple were these luchot. What was in the second temple? In the Kodesh Kiroshim, what was in there? Nothing.
Wow.
Nothing. When the Kohen Gadol went with his Chosh and Mishpat into the Kodesh Kiroshim, there was nothing in there.
Tell you.
And if you look at the measurements of the Aron HaKodesh, it didn't friggin' exist. If anyone has seen this before, if you haven't seen this before, the idea is we have the measurements of every single aspect of the dynamic of the Kodesh Kodashim, the Azara. We have every precise dynamic, which, by the way, Einstein said is one of the most ingenious formations that's ever been created in all of humankind. But that in this dynamic, the Aron, it didn't exist. If you want me to explain it later, I will. Have you guys heard of this idea? If you haven't heard this idea, I'll explain it. Okay, let me explain. Let me try to. Shammai?
Yeah.
You want to try to explain it?
What?
How the fact that the Aron had the measurements met to here, but then it didn't actually exist. There was no existence of the Aron Bigadol.
What I think Nili is referring to is the Gemara.
Sorry, Facebook.
The
That's my best friend's brother.
If you measured the dimensions of the Kodesh HaKodashim, of the Holy of Holies,
And the Aron specifically.
well, for
Okay, sorry.
just the room.
Okay.
So it came out to a certain measurement.
Okay.
Let's say 10 feet. Like
Can you guys hear him?
You can all hear me? Yeah. If you measured the room, okay, it was 10 square feet. Okay? And then when you brought the Aron into the room, so from one side of the Aron to the wall would be 5 feet, and then from the other side of the Aron to the wall would be 5 feet. Meaning the space, the original space of the room would stay the same, and the Aron wouldn't be tofes any space. I mean, there was additional space in the room created when the Aron was brought in. So that's what it means, Ein Aron tofes et mekomo. The Aron didn't take up any space. It was the same space that existed, and then when the Aron came in, there was more space in the room. Right. I think that's what you're talking about.
I am talking about that. And so what I want to point out by this is this whole idea of crystals is that hippies, for example, if we look at crystals, we're like, wow, they're so beautiful. Or diamonds, right? Forget hippies. For talk LA. Oh my God, I gave a shiur in LA. I didn't know what to do with myself because every other woman was dripping in diamonds, and I was just there in like my little palazzo pants or whatever you call them, and like they're dripping in diamonds. Diamonds are crystals, right? Yeah. So on the one hand, crystals are gorgeous, right? Anyone want to shout out their favorite crystal? Turquoise, sapphire, tourmaline, right? You said. Oh, and opal.
Oh, jade is nice.
So these crystals are beautiful, but and that's important for us to realize that within us there's crystals, within us there's a menorah of light, but at the same time, the Holy of Holies, at the end of the day, there's nothing in it. There's nothing of it. Nothing. As goals. To say, like, on the one hand, you want to be shiny, but on the other hand, the true service of God is, can you really be nothing? You don't need to shine. You want to shine, that's great. Work on your shining. But at the same time, can you truly be nothing? Can you let that be the Holy of Holies? My Purim costume 2 years ago was nothing. People were very weirded out by me, right? They were expecting me to come in this magnificent costume because I'm like, Kaylee has called me Nili Salem. That's my nickname. So they're expecting this raucous costume, and I showed up with a burlap bag, no makeup, no glitter, almost no jewelry, and I put the word nothing on my head. And I was trying to be nothing, and I learned a very deep lesson. You can't become nothing overnight. To become nothing is goals. And so these crystals represent both this place that is absolutely shining and gorgeous again with the polarities, and also is nothing. Okay, here's my plan, and you guys tell me how this works for you. I would like to share about 10 minutes of the science of crystals, and then 10 minutes of the Chosh and Mishpat. Does that feel comfortable and good for everybody?
Oh, great.
Yeah.
How's everyone doing?
We're good.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Oh, I couldn't decide if that was devil worship or an okay side.
Okay.
Good Purim. Did anyone need anything? Should we pass wine around? Should I have another shot to be publicly online? Yeah, there's wine, guys. Pour wine. It's Purim. Nichnas yain yotzi yod.
Nearly.
Yes.
Do you want to just make up a hand signal for poor YouTubey?
No, I don't. But it's a good idea. I mean, Navot. Guys, a single Kohen, I highly recommend. Pass the wine.
We can start with it today, but that doesn't mean that on Purim we won't remember it, and then you can just do it, and then what a Purim you're gonna have.
Okay, guys, I have a question. By the way, we have the luchot as the center of our worship, our crystals. We have the Chosh and Mishpat. Where else are there crystals in Judaism? L'chaim Tov Nili Salem.
Hi, Nili.
Where else is there a very, very important crystal? It's also sapphire, but most of us are forgetting it. There's a very important crystal that did a lot of effect in the world. Do you know? That's a good one. That's Sohar is a gem. Yeah, that's a crystal. A window gem. So put up a show. Sohar shining in like gold. There's another one. I didn't think of that one. Good one. Moses' staff.
What?
Moses' staff, which was originally the staff of Adam HaRishon. By the way, if anyone is old like me and knows the sorcerer and the sword and the stone, the Disney movie, the sword and the stone,
It's a King Arthur tale.
it's a King Arthur tale, which is based off of Moshe going to Yitro and pulling the sapphire staff out of the ground. Moshe's staff was apparently, according to the Yalkut Shimoni, blue sapphire, and it had inscribed in it the how do I say that word?
Rishei Tevot.
No,
it had
the Tetzave Dash Be'achav.
Yeah, the abbreviation.
It had the abbreviation of the plagues. Raise your hand if you knew that Moshe's staff was blue diamond sapphire. L'chaim. That's no one? That's cool. You do.
How it can be that the wine passed and the wine didn't pass through me? How it's moved twice?
Here.
It's created as dust in the last day of creation.
Oh, thank you. So Pablo said something amazing. So I have a question, my friends. They're in the desert. They're supposed to take the gems that washed up on the shore and that fell with the man and carve the names of the tribe. How did this happen? Did they have precision gem makers? They were just slaves for 210 years. How did it happen that on these gems was engraved the names of the tribes? Does anyone know? Talk about being created during the 6 days in the dusk of creation. How were the names inscribed on the stones? Anyone know?
And they weren't allowed to use iron.
Shammai says it was a worm. The shamir worm. I just heard an interpretation that it was actually a snake. And what they would do is they would paint the names of the tribe on the gems, Mel, and then they would send this worm onto the gems. But listen, how does a worm cut stone?
Again?
Slowly.
How does a worm cut stone?
A worm.
A worm.
It eats it.
Tola'ah.
Solar.
It eats it. That's a good idea. That's a very good idea.
Some ooze, some goo. Like
So I
slug
just
thing.
learned, according to Yoram Daham from the Kabbalah, that the worm actually vibrated at an incredibly high frequency, and in doing so was able to split the stone. Now, this makes sense because we're about to talk about crystals and the science of crystals and vibration and frequency. So, does anyone know, so what's the deal? It's a stone, it's pretty. Why scientifically could potentially a crystal have an effect?
Energetic.
Energy. Who talks about energy?
The earth has energy, and in turn, the earth has energy, and in turn, the crystal has energy because it's both part of the earth.
The earth has energy, therefore the crystal has energy. Who talks about energy in modern day? Einstein, right? Who else? I'll give you a hint. Most popular car? Nikola Tesla. If you look at all the great scientists, they're all saying that everything is dependent on energy, frequency, and vibration. And if you want to tune into the future wavelengths, you got to tune into frequency, energy, and vibration. What?
Is that Viktor Frankl?
Yes. Well, I don't know. Okay, so here's the thing. Crystals have a number of scientific effects. One of them is called the piezoelectric effect. Piezoelectric effect, and that is where crystals can generate their own electricity. Wow. Yes.
Yeah, all like battery powered watches.
Thank you. So what do we know, guys? Now think about it. Where do we see crystals in modern technology? So we have watches, right? Anyone seen a watch with the word quartz on it?
Yeah.
Okay.
There's
What
a
else?
spider that put quartz in the desert. There is a hole and put quartz and feels the vibration. It's real.
Hold on, I'm going to turn the video on you.
And in that way,
Wait. Say again. There's a spider in the desert that what? No, not on you. Sorry, on them. No, but on me. Hi. Okay, yeah.
I can say something amazing.
Okay, there's spiders with holes and vibrations of
that it
crystals.
distributes quartz in different.
Distributes quartz.
throughout the
Okay,
desert.
yes.
But I will feel comfortable to say it in Hebrew because.
Okay, אז תגיד את זה בעברית שאנשים יכולים להבין.
So I read that the pyramids.
Yes, yes. The
In
pyramids.
Egypt, the stones that built on the pyramids in Egypt are rich in quartz.
Yes.
And the idea, people think that it's like a huge grave,
Yeah.
but the meaning why they build it, it's like build to create a kind of electric field,
Yes.
and it's something that is not a belief, it's a science.
Yes. Electromagnetic energy.
Electromagnetic energy.
Yep.
It's like a tachanat koach.
Yeah, absolutely.
This is the idea of the pyramids.
Yes, 100%. So, my friends, what else? Sorry, you're on Facebook. Should I turn around because I didn't ask your permission? Okay. What else? Okay, so we know the pyramids. We know watches. What else? Has anyone heard of an LCD screen? I don't have a TV, but for someone who has a TV, I hope you have LCD. What's LCD? Liquid crystal display. What about your very phones? Raise your hand if you're addicted to your phone.
Shrine.
Whoever has your hand down, teach me your ways, because I don't know how you do it.
Shabbat.
Shabbos. I know. Thank God for Shabbos, dear Lord have mercy. But the idea is that your phone is based off of crystal technology. That's why you're addicted to it, because it literally pulls you in. Satellites. You know how satellites are made? They have a flippin' ball of quartz in the middle. Do you know what else has a flippin' ball of quartz in the middle? The Earth. 80% of the Earth's core is made out of silicone quartz crystal. Yes. What else? So we have watches, LCD TV, phones, satellites, the core of the Earth, computer chips. If you're wondering how your computer chip works, it works off of crystals. It's based on silicone and different. Oh, by the way, your car sensors, your airbag, your parking sensor, all based on these.
Crystal formation.
Yes. Because crystals have Inicia, welcome back home. Veshavu, banot, veshavu, banot, veshavu, banot. Uriah, I see you. Welcome. Come up whenever you're ready. We'll take an intermission. Guys, we have welcomed in my dear friend Nasia, who just got back to Israel, literally off the plane, and Uriah Harush, who I have to say is probably the best. I'm sorry if it's embarrassing to you. I know you're shy. I think you are the best musician in Israel that I've ever heard. I'm sorry, it's true. Come whenever you're ready. So he'll come. Okay, so, and in use of crystals, not only is it for our technology, but also because crystals are from the ground, they're negatively ionized, which is a positive thing. Our screens positively ionize us, and crystals can help us if they're charged by sun, moon, salt water, water, because there's a whole woo-woo thing about that, can help us realign our sfirot, our chakrot. They can help negatively ionize us. That chair's just for you, you see? Wow. They can lower the viscosity of our blood, reverse inflammation, increase our libido, woo, and help with our acid-alkaline balance and our yin-yang balance. Yes?
And also remove electromagnetic airwaves from our body.
Yes, they can remove electromagnetic airwaves from our body. They can heal us from our phones and our TVs. So isn't it interesting that the very thing that realigns us with ourself is the thing that was the center of our tradition? Are you understanding? I tried to portray this class as a very woo-woo class, but tachlis, at the end of it, if you realize it, the thing that was at the center of our worship was the thing that realigned us with ourselves so we could be in clarity and tell our story to God. So that we could realize that there's preciousness inside of us, but also that we don't even need any proof of sparkliness. We could be absolutely nothing, and that is the Holy of Holies. Guys, that's whoa. I just gave you a whoa teaching right there.
Yeah, that's why people are dead silent, because it's one of those like, yeah, exactly.
Stunned.
Yes.
I agree. I agree. So what we're going to do real quick, we're going to go through the tribes. And this took me like 100 hours of research to understand what I'm about to explain to you. And then we'll close and we'll have some Uriah, dear Lord of mercy. And Kaylee also, please God, will give us a song about the Mishkan. By the way, Amalek, Purim, right? We keep doing crossovers between Purim and the clothes and the crystals and the Seudah and all these things. So Purim is based off of Haman, who's from Amalek. And Amalek wants us to doubt that we're worth anything. And we're like, seriously, Amalek? I have freaking crystals and menorah inside of me. And even if I had nothing inside of me, it's still the Kodesh Kedoshim. So just do me a favor and shh. That's what Amalek wants to tell us. Ah, you have something precious inside of you? Yeah, right. Ha! 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 Oh, you're something. Yeah, shh. Shh, Amalek. I've learned a lesson from the Kodesh Kedoshim. The Holy of Holies teaches me I can be a sparkling crystal and I can be mamish nothing, and it's a gewalt. Do you have like 15 minutes so that I could first teach about the tribes and then you play for us? Yeah. Do you want this beautiful special chair for you? Would anyone like to bring our holy musician who came from Beit Zayed a glass of wine?
Yes, of course.
There's lots of it.
Okay. Any questions so far?
I have a question.
Yes.
You said you spent about 100 hours on
Yes.
it, so do you now understand it?
No.
Yeah, from what
No,
I
you
gather,
never know. Ade, ade, lo, yada, ade, ade, lo, yada, ade, lo, yada. Ade, ade, lo, yada, ade, ade, lo, yada, ade, lo, yada. Chaya v'nesh li besume, li besume, li besume. Chaya v'nesh li besume, li besume, li besume. Okay, so guys, what we're going to do is we're going to go through. I told you that each of the crystals on the Chosh and Mishpat was connected to a tribe, and that tribe had a certain purpose and energy, and that's why it was connected to the crystal. So, 12. We're going to go through them. It'll take about 12 minutes. We'll close in 3 minutes, and we'll get boogieing. Is that cool?
Great.
Yes,
Okay. Out of order, because they're out of order, okay? Nice. So, first, we have the tribe of Yosef. The tribe of Yosef was the crystal called? By the way, I want to let you know, Lefi Kabbalah, Lefi Chassidut, every tribe, you can barely tell what the stone is. You have to do research. Each one has a different opinion. I took the opinions most well-researched according to my research. It's not emet la'amito, okay? So just roll with it.
Wait, and I just want to add one thing to that too.
Add everything, Pablito.
Just an important thing on the fact of like the practical issue here. Not only are the crystals, they use ancient names that were unclear about what the ancient names, how they interpret to the modern worlds. Also, many crystals have different colors. They can be clear,
Yes.
they can be cloudy, they can be dark and light. They can be, a lot of them come into different colors. So in addition to the fact that we're not exactly sure from ancient times until today which crystals they are in translation, we also don't always know which version of each crystal it might have been. So just it's so like there's something deeper there that we have challenge we have challenges now in the modern world, knowing what the crystals were and being able to access that information, which is part of the journey, you know?
Shkoyach. Pablito, just off the plane from Switzerland. Exactly. Okay, so here's the thing. So Yosef, he's represented by onyx, which I believe is Shoham, and that was on the shoulders of the Kohen Gadol. What's amazing is that if you look into the qualities of onyx, it's a fixing of grace of chen. And what was Yosef known for? His chen. He found grace in other people's eyes. That's wow. Could I get a wow? Wow. Let's talk about Asher. Asher was red beryl or Tarshish. And the fixing is bread and olive oil. So isn't it interesting that red beryl stimulates vitality and assists in digestion, much like oil? Wow.
But Tarshish is aquamarine.
Tarshish could be lots of colors, so hence the problem
No,
with
but the
exactly.
stone is aquamarine.
In modern, it's sometimes, yeah.
Huh?
God is connected to the stone of amethyst, and the fixing is in terms of fighting, right? So we are Akrav, we're Scorpio, and Scorpio is like a very passionate energy. It's warrior-like, and it's connected to spirituality and dreams and strengthening courage in battle and addictions. Okay. Friggin', why am I a therapist? I tell ya. God is connected to the amethyst, and the amethyst is connected to God with the warriors. And it's amethyst. And amethyst is this very passionate stone connected to Scorpio, so it's not surprising. Naphtali is connected to tree agate, and the fixing is sweetness. Tri age kenun, to sweeten your life. And nefetli literally means sweet to me. It also has to do with balance and stability. Dan, the leshem, the fire opal, has to do with protecting against theft. And how interesting that Dan in the desert was the tribe that picked up after everyone did Hashavat Avedah. Ooh, I hear your oohs and ahs. Ooh. Zvulun was the Yahalom, the diamond or the pearl. Why is it interesting? What was Zvulun? They were out at They were out at sea. Why were they out at sea? They were mining for pearls. They were the businessmen coupled with their brother to bring business. Hence, Yahalom's diamond is wealth. Guys, this is wow stuff. I don't know if to me this is wow. Is this wow to you? Okay.
What is the Hebrew name about the...
Yahalom. Yahalom.
The quieter it is, that's actually the more wow it is.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Yisachar was blue sapphire or lapis lazuli, and the fixing was Torah learning. So how interesting that the quality of blue sapphire is eyesight, countering physical pain, countering fear and depression, or bringing peace. Because what's Torah learning said to do? Talmidei chachamim marbim shalom ba'olam. Right? So Torah learning brings peace. Blue sapphire, peace. Yehuda, Nofech. There was a sister tonight. Her name was Nofech. She was going to come. The fixing is owning up. Turquoise helps you do the right thing in the world. And what did Yehuda do when he did wrong? He owned up and he admitted. Yes. Levi, the emerald, the baraket. I can never say it right. The fixing of emerald helps you tune into your spirituality and helps you teach. And who are Levi? The teachers, the singers. They had the enlightened mind. So listen, I'm telling you this like it's obvious, but I'm telling you this also took me weeks and weeks of research to put the connection between the attribute of the gemstone and the tribe together. Shimon, the pita, blue topaz, cooling propensity for anger. And what was the deal with Shimon?
He was angry. He was hot-headed.
Little bit of a hot, yeah. And so Shimon, who was going to wipe out the whole town of Shechem, is given a cooling propensity. Reuven, the ruby, who I'm wearing the ruby, is Odem or carnelian for the fixing of, what did Reuven do? The problem with swapping his dad's bed, right? Messing with his sexuality. And look at that. The Odem is all about sexuality. 2 more to go. Okay. Binyamin is jasper or yasfe. The fixing is helping one acquire a good reputation. What's Binyamin known for? Being the children, being loved by everyone. So isn't it interesting? And finally, I have gold, because gold is called the master healer. And I want to tell you one more thing about gold. Because the Kohen Gadol wore a plate, also not just on his chest, but on his forehead. And it said, Kodesh Lashem, holy to God. Imagine if your rabbi had a plate on his head that says, you are holy. There was no mirrors in the Beit HaMikdash. It's not like the Kohen walked around with this plate on his head saying, holy to God, because he thought he was holy to God. Dafka, the high priest, the one who's navigating this heart space, is looking at you, Mel, and he's going, wow, you are so holy to God. Yeah. Well, it wasn't a mirror. It wasn't for him. It wasn't he was holy to God. How arrogant and awful would that be?
I mean, more so it's just like you found that like the idea is that somebody.
Can I put this on you?
To be honest, people probably weren't super literate back then.
No,
but like,
she's not Hebrew.
I mean,
They knew that much, maybe.
Right.
You know, all the things I've learned as a tour guide, they were very not literate. But the idea is that like maybe for all the people that were illiterate, like I don't know. Even though there is no mirror, still, the idea that, like, instead of it being that the Kohen Gadol is labeled
as the holiest man on earth.
God is like,
Right.
in case y'all didn't know, holy to God. The idea that it's simply, in case y'all didn't know,
You are holy to God. Exactly. Exactly. And that's...
So then maybe people would say, since they can't read, they might say, well, what does it say? And then he would say,
You are holy to God. And that's the whole idea, my friends, of the inyan of crystals.
Wow.
we came tonight to learn about crystals in the Mishkan and the Makom Shechina, and the idea is that deep within you, you have resources that are the most shiny and the most beautiful and the most colorful, but also you need none of it because you were born with inherent self-worth and inherent Kedusha to God that created you as the most precious, holy of holies specimen that ever existed. Yeah? So there's a story, and I'll conclude with this. And the story is by Rav Shlomo Karlibach. And Rav Shlomo, hey guys outside, can you chill out for 2 seconds so that I could get some quiet and then I'll finish? Omer, tell the homies to quiet down. Thank you.
Step away from the door.
2 seconds, just 2 more seconds. We're almost done. And we're going to dive into some gorgeous music. So Rav Shlomo Karlibach was known to tell this amazing story where he would go to New York to the diamond dealers and they would ask him to come give us a Dvar Torah, right? Wow, we're so excited. We're going to get a Dvar Torah for Rav Shlomo. But they said, Shlomo, we want to be honest with you. You're an amazing teacher. We love your vibe, right, Crystals? We love your vibes. Such good vibes. But we want to know, why do you always hang out with the weirdos and the losers? Hello, your friends are a little weird. What's going on here? And Shlomo says, aha, I understand how you feel. But I have a question for you. You guys are diamond dealers, right? And they're like, we are the diamond dealers of New York. We could tell a diamond in the rough in a minute. He's like, really, you could? And they said, yeah. So he said, so if I just picked a diamond out of the gutter and it was just malay and crust, then you could tell it was a real... Of course we could. We're the diamond dealers of New York. And he goes, my friends, I too am a diamond dealer. I walk around the streets of New York and the streets of the world, and I see the most precious diamonds. And I know that all you have to do is just pick them up and shine a little bit, and they're going to shine like they've never shined before. So thank you guys for coming. And I bless us, and may the Rabbona, and thank you, Orel, for being our kli to hold us. Be'emet. Especially as Haman Rasha is a gival. And I bless us to realize that crystals were the center of our worship, and that means just tell your story to God. Sapir, Sipur. We just have to tell our story to God no matter what it is, and that we're precious and we're worthy, whether we're shining radiant or whether there's absolutely nothing in there. And wow, l'chaim, I'm so grateful for you guys to let me share. And there's more to share, but in time, before we break up, Uriah, please bless us with some music, because music was also in the Mishkan, in the Beit HaMikdash. There was said to be 100,000 singers. Somewhere between 30 to 100,000 singers. They trained for 30 years with an orchestra of 4,000 to 5,000 bands. When you came to the Beit HaMikdash, you were coming to be escorted by the greatest music you've ever heard in the world. So let's get a little music, and then we'll break up and have free time and socializing and music. L'chaim, please add everything. Pablo.
Just an important Purim note, and global politics, but I'm not going to talk about politics. The story of Purim is that the king of Persia tried to kill us, and we won. But importantly, the day before Purim is Tanit Esther, and Jews have a long history of fasting and praying for peace and to improve our situation. And everyone should fast on Tanit Esther.
Okay, l'chaim to our local Haredi.
Yashkoa! Yes, Nili! Hell yeah! Thank you, Nili, for hosting this.
Thank you, Mama? Do you want to say anything about yourself? Okay, so here's what's amazing. In the war, I got totally traumatized in the war with Iran. My building is close to here. I won't tell you where. It's very close to here. And it's 200 years old. And so there was no protection in the war. And I, for the first time, really lost it. And so I had to escape. And my friends were out of town in Beit Zayit, so they let me stay in their house. Except for they had one condition. You have to share the miklat with the neighbors. Welcome the neighbor. Wait, it gets better. The neighbor plays music. So every time there's sirens, I'm sitting in the corner of the room and there's the most beautiful. But wait, his wife's name is Nili. So there I am, chilling in Beit Zayit, feeling way more safe than I was in Yafa, my 200-year-old building, in the miklat with Nili and this beautiful music. And his name is Uriah Harush. And I please ask you, since my phone is on live, can someone please video this so I could send his wife clips because she asked me to? I'll take all different angles because it's important. A musician is a really hard job. You give your heart and your soul, and then you get 2 shekels. So, Uriah Harush to get $2.
It's fine with you guys if I do it in Hebrew?
Yeah.
Okay, so סוברים הענן.
Hi.
ברוך אתה אדוני מלך העולם בורא פרי הגפן.
Amen.
טוב, כיף להיות פה, נהני, תודה שהזמנת אותי.
תודה שבאת.
נתחיל עם כמה צלילים.
Noam, can you ask the guys outside to be quiet or come in? Maybe invite them in.
זה שיר שכתבתי למשיח, לגאולה.
אפשר לסגור את הדלתות בבקשה?
Please, someone take videos. I promised his wife, and she's the best. She's a better Nili than me.
She's a different.
She's better. She's so cool.
צר, העולם הוא גשר צר. לחיים, לחיים. אני אעשה לכם שירים שלי. נכון. אתה אח של מי?
אני אח של אבי ושירן.
אבי ושירן, בטח. לא, אחי גם מוזיקאי. מה? בבקשו, איזה שיר אתם אוהבים?
וואו.
תגידו, תציעו, מה שאימא נמכיר.
שיר על קריסטוס.
אבל לי יקר.